What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Today, I'm very excited to be checking out Ghost Blaster from Haba Games. This is for 1 to 4 players. It's for ages 5 to 99, and it'll take you about, 10 to 15 minutes to play. And in Ghost Blaster, you are going to be playing as 3 Ghost Blasters going around a haunted castle trying to blast all the ghosts by getting matches. But at the same time, you got to make sure that you don't get your Ghost Blasters locked up into the dungeon. Will you be able to fight off all the ghosts, or will the ghost destroy you? Well, you'll probably be able to fight them off, but let's open it up, check it out, I'll tell you if it's good. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what's inside of Ghost Blaster from Haba Games. First and foremost, we have our handy dandy rule booklet. It's 22 pages, double-sided, full color, but you're only going to need the first 5 or 6 pages because that's what's in English. It'll have you up and running in no time at all. You'll probably need it once and then never need it again. It's a very, very simple game, very simple rule booklet. It'll probably teach you how to play right now. So first and foremost, in Ghost Blaster, what are you going to be doing? Well, you're going to be taking control of these 3 little Ghost Blasters down here, moving them all around this haunted castle by rolling this big chunky die right here, and trying to blast all the ghosts by getting matches before 12 hours runs up. The difference in this game from most matching games is you don't have to get 2 matches, you're actually going to have to get 3 matches at the same time, so you're going to have to move all your blasters onto 3 ghosts that will look alike. Right now it's clear as mud, but I'll show you how it works. So we'll go over the components, then we'll get a little bit into the gameplay. First component we have is going to be this little clock right here. You're going to start at 12, and if you ever make it all the way back to 12, then the ghosts are going to get you and haunt you to death or do whatever. And you are going to lose the game. Most of the time that is not going to happen because this is a relatively simple game for the most part. Next you're going to have these nice little green see-through incandescent, I guess might be the word, cubes which are going to be used to blast the ghosts. They look really cool. The kids like them an awful lot. Next you're going to have your 3 people. You have your pink, your yellow, and your blue. And unlike most games, you're not actually going to be taking control of one of these. Everyone is going to be controlling everyone, which is a little bit of an abstract concept for some kids, but they will get it eventually. Next, you're going to have the die. It is a 6-sided die, but it's got numbers 1, 2, 3, and then also the clock one, which means you're going to turn 1 hour closer to 12 o'clock, which is bad, of course. Last but not least, though, we have the tiles. There's a couple different kinds of tiles. First, you're going to have the door right here, and the door is where everyone is going to start, because obviously that's the front of the house. Next, you're going to have 3 different kinds of ghosts in here. You're going to have the kid ones, which look like that. At least that's what the kids in my class call them. You're going to have the old man and the lady. Those are the 3 different kinds of ghosts. You're going to have 6 each of those. You're also going to have 2 of these things. These are bad. That means whoever lands on the spot is going to go to the dungeon, which means another player is going to have to go over there and free you, which can be very, very troublesome. Because, as I mentioned, you have to get 3 people in order to get a match. So, if one person is in the dungeon, then you obviously cannot free them. Last but not least, we have 3 different dungeon spaces, which depict all three of the different characters in the dungeon. So right now, this would be where the blue guy goes to the dungeon. So let's show you how the game is played, and you'll quickly learn what's going on here. So what's going to happen is everyone is going to take turns. On your turn, you're going to roll the die, and you're going to see what you get. So this would be the bad one. We'd have to turn the clock, ding dong, 1 more until it's on 1 o'clock. So the next player would now go. So they got a 1, which means they can move any one of these guys 1 space. So let's just say they move the pink one right there. They will flip it over, see what they got, and they got the lady. So now, next player is going to go. Roll the die. They can move any 3 spaces. So they can move the pink, the blue, or the yellow. Obviously, though, you probably don't want to move the pink one. Why? Because what happens is when the pink one moves, this gets flipped back over, which means you would have to re-find that lady again in order to get the match and blast the ghost. So we might move the yellow guy, and he might go 1, 2, 3, flip it over, and we have the kids. That's not the best, but we still have the blue guy. Next person would go. They got a 2, so they go 1, 2. They got the old man, so we're not off to the greatest start here. So we got another 3, and we'll say, we'll move this blue guy. 1, 2, 3. So move him again. We got a lady. So we got 2 ladies, so most likely we're going to try and move the yellow guy until we find a lady. We got a 1, we'll move it right here. Boom! We got ourselves a lady, which means we have our first match, which means boom, boom, boom. All three of them get squirted with the goo, the blast, the ectoplasm, whatever it is you want to call them. And now we move onward. So we got another clock, which means ding dong. We move to 2 o'clock. And we will roll the die again. We go one space, and since this one has been blasted, that tile now stays face up. So you will always know that is a safe tile to go on because it had the pink lady. There's a lady again, but we're going to pretend that he got a 2, and he would go right here. So he's landed here. Oh no, he's on the dungeon. So what's going to happen is he immediately goes over here, and I like to put him face down so that way you remember that he is in the dungeon. This goes face down again. And now either the pink or the yellow guy has to go over there, make their way over there, and rescue him from the dungeon, at which point they can go on continuing to try and get all the matches. If they can get all of the matches before the time gets back to 12, they will be the winners of the game. If the time gets back to 12 and they have not completed all the matches, used all the goo, then the ghost will have won the game. And that, in a nutshell, is how Ghost Blaster from Hama Games is played. Okery dokery. Ghost Blaster from Hama Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, this is a children's game. I could also put this as a family game if you have really young children, maybe 1 or 2 really young children. But this definitely falls more in the category of a family game. You are not going to want to play this with any kids over the age of, I'd say, 7, maybe 8 or 9, because it really is a very, very simple game, which is going to be a con. A lot of the Hama games, they can scale really well to different ages. This one, not so much, just because it is rather on the simple side, but that's just a curse of the beast of a matching game. Also, there are some abstract concepts in here for young children, especially the fact that you don't have your own character, that everybody's moving different characters. That threw off some of the kids when I first played with them. Also, the fact that you have to get 3 matches, 3 to get a match instead of 2, just blew some of these kids' minds. But you also can, as an easier variant, which you really probably won't need, play where you only have to get 2 instead of 3, and that works as well. Any other cons I have with the game? Not really. I mean, this is a very light children's game, and you should know that getting into it. It's your typical Hama game. Moving on to the pros, it's fun. My kids really, really, really enjoy Ghost Blaster in my classroom. So as many as you know, I'm a preschool teacher. I work with 3 to 5-year-olds. 3 to 5-year-olds really, really love this game. I enjoy playing it with them, even though it is frustrating sometimes when they make the worst decisions in the world. It's like we have 2 girl ghosts, and then one guy, and he's like, I'm going to move this guy that's already on a girl ghost. He's like, if you do that, then we won't be able to get the 3rd girl ghost. And God, it's so frustrating sometimes. But it's fun to watch them learn. I like the theme. Really nice components. Great children's game. For kids, I'd say ages 3 to 7. But once you get to a higher age range, it's probably not going to be for them. There's not really too much else I can say about this game. It scales pretty well from 1 to 4 players, and I have had a kid play by himself, and he thought that was a lot of fun, being able to move everything at the same time. Not to mention there are some house rules that you put onto it. I mentioned that briefly, where you could go, where you would just get 2 at a time. And that one I generally play with 3-year-olds because they just have terrible decision-making skills when it comes to board games. But I said instead of getting 3 matches, you can just get 2 ghosts. And it works out because there's 6 in each, so there's still an even number. They like that as well, though. It's still a lot of fun for them. Also, if you want to make the game a little bit more difficult, recommend to set the clock at 1 or 2. Another way you can do that is that if someone gets into a dungeon, then you can say that it's going to take some time to get them out of the dungeon. And normally I'll just say, oh, that's going to knock us back another hour. So that's another house rule that you can play with it. Excuse me. But overall, Ghost Blaster from Hama Games, if you're looking for a very fun memory cooperative game, this is definitely one to check out if you're looking at ages kids 3 to 7 or 8 years old. Highly recommended. Ghost Blaster from Hama. Fantastic components, fun theme, easy to learn, easy to play, easy to teach, good rule booklet, just another solid hit from Hama Games. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, would you like to be a Ghost Blaster or a Ghostbuster? I personally think it'd be fun. I've always said that I don't think I'd be scared of a ghost. I'd be more excited to see a ghost. I'd be like, whoa, that's a ghost. Hey, what's up, man? Granted, it might be a lot scarier than I think, though. So let me know in the comments below, would you like to be a Ghost Blaster? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. That was a review for Ghost Blaster. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bowers Game Corner.